Hey guys, welcome back to the Style and Beauty Doctor here on YouTube, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Fenty Skin. So the brand sent me the products about a month ago. I've been testing them out, couldn't say anything, had to zip my lip, but now that the embargo is lifted, honey, I'm about to flip the lid on this and spill some tea, so keep watching. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. I try to make skincare and fashion as fun and easy as possible on this channel. I upload skincare videos on Sundays and Wednesdays, and on Fridays we do fashion. So if you are looking to up your skincare game and be entertained with some fashion, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to know when I upload new videos. Now to the topic at hand. So if I'm a huge Fenty Beauty fan, I love the way that they disrupted the makeup industry. Now, they weren't the first to come out with an extensive line of foundations. They weren't the first, but we cannot deny the impact and the way they had a lot of makeup brands shook. Now, I was excited about Fenty Skin, but I don't think Fenty Skin is gonna have that same kind of cultural impact. Let's talk about it. So the line has 3 products. Now, they may extend the Fenty Skin line and have additional products, but these are the 3 core products. The Total Cleanser, which is touted as a remove-it-all cleanser for makeup and, you know, your dirt, your oil, and your just nasty gunk from the day. The Fat Water Pore Refining Toner Serum. So this is like a hybrid between a toner and a serum. And praise Black Baby Jesus, there is a sunscreen. This is the HYDRA Visor Invisible Moisturizer, moisturizer with SPF 30. Let's get into the individual products and ingredients and thoughts and so on and so forth. First up, let's talk about the Total Cleanser. So I would say overall, this is a pretty decent cleanser. It's got some good ingredients in it that are known to help dissolve oil and cleanse the skin. It's also got some mild and non-drying ingredients as well as some humectants in it. When I tried it, I found it to be a nice cleanser for me. It was very gentle, didn't notice any, over drying of the skin. Very important thing that you want to know when it comes to cleansing is that your skin should not feel squeaky clean after you cleanse. If it feels squeaky clean, you might have done too much. And here on this channel, I say don't do the most, and you especially don't want to do the most in your cleanser. So overall, I would say that this is a pretty decent cleanser. Now the thing is, and we'll talk about fragrance because it does show up in all 3 of the products here, this has a very strong fragrance to it. Now, I don't know what percentage of the product is fragrance. I do see some of the ones that I could ID as fragrance are kind of lower down in the ingredients list, but they're there. Now the thing with the fragrance, it's a very pleasing smell, but fragrance can be one of those if you look at the grand scheme of things and okay, is this gonna bump up my skin? Is this gonna irritate me? What's gonna happen? Fragrance is usually very high on the list as known irritants, but it's also subjective. So, what irritates me may not irritate you. So Total Cleanser is also touted as a 2-in-1 cleanser, so it removes your makeup and cleanses in one step. I didn't find that to be the case for me. I've tried this countless times throughout the time that I've had these products, and I still had waterproof eyeliner and mascara, regular mascara still, kind of smudged on my face. I didn't find that it was a good 2-in-1 for me. I would still double cleanse, make sure that I use my oil-based cleanser to massage and dissolve the makeup, rinse that off, and then go in with, either the Total Cleanser or another gel-based or cream-based cleanser. And then sometimes I might do a 3rd cleanse where I take a micellar water and a cotton pad. And those are times when I don't want my edges to have water splashed all up and through. So I'll use the cotton pad with the micellar water to, really make sure that I remove the makeup from around my hairline, because that's an area where we tend to have like product, like hair product buildup and makeup and stuff like that, and that can lead to, you know, bumping up along the hairline. But the funny thing though is Ole Henriksen, which is also, you know, under the same umbrella as Fenty, they're owned by the same parent company. Their Truth Juice Daily Cleanser is a 2-in-1 that I found to be way more effective. Like there was nothing, I mean, I'm sure there was something, but definitely not any waterproof eyeliner and regular mascara left on my face after using this. But it's important to make sure that you're properly cleansing your skin, because your other products in your skincare routine may not work as intended if you got gutsy face. So make sure you're properly cleansing your skin. But lucky for you, there's a video already on proper cleansing. Make sure you check it out. I'll have it linked above and below. So total cleanser is going to cost you $25. And there are some ingredients that, you know, the brand markets. Barbados cherry, which is very rich in vitamin C, and it's an antioxidant. Antioxidants help to fight against the free radicals and anti-aging and all that like pollution and all that gunk. There's also ginkgo biloba, which in skincare has moisturizing, soothing, anti-aging properties, and then some other antioxidant ingredients like fig and green tea. I just think that with a cleanser that, you know, you do reap those benefits for a little bit, but then they're, you know, they're washed off. Though I think this is a pretty decent cleanser overall. This wouldn't be something that I would buy. I think the fragrance, to me, the fragrance is pleasing to my nose, but I think I would prefer to have this fragrance in something like a room spray or a candle. I just feel like with all the cleansers that I've tried before and all the various price points of cleansers that I've had, this is not something that is going to be able to take the place of a lot of the cleansers that I've used over the years. So would you try the Total Cleanser? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Next up, the Fat Water. Now, while I was looking up the ingredients for this one, I got a mixed bag of some good and some bad. So I would have to say, like, based on what I found, that this is probably like, you know, kind of in the middle. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say like, oh my God, girl, stop what you're doing and go and get this. But let's talk about a few positives first. So first, the packaging I think is really amazing. It has the same kind of twist and lock packaging as the cleanser. Anything that is going to promote a less messy environment for me, the better, because I am a clumsy oof. So having that twist and lock is really good. This is also something that you can apply with your hands. Make sure your hands are clean first, you know? But y'all know that, right? You can apply this with your hands. The texture feels really good. It's got some pretty decent ingredients in here, as well as some that I found that looked kind of questionable. And, you know, I don't want to make this video completely long, so if you want to get more information on what I found from the ingredients, I'm going to put a link to my blog post, so make sure you check that out, and that way you can kind of read more and get your knowledge. One of the ingredients that this really touts is niacinamide. Niacinamide shows up pretty high up in the ingredients list. We don't know how much niacinamide is in here, but niacinamide, aka vitamin B3, is something that has a lot of really great benefits. So it can help to control oil production, it can help to even the skin, it can help to fight hyperpigmentation. There are a number of things that niacinamide can do. Do you need this particular product in order to do the things that I mentioned? No. Is it a fun to have, you know, like, oh, let me try this out really quick? Maybe. And I would love to have like a cosmetic chemist give their thoughts on the ingredients in here, because some of them were great and some of them were like, ooh. This is a toner serum combo. Now, there were a number of ingredients that they were touting up on this that I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. Let me look it up. And the main one was the Australian myrtle extract, which has another name. And again, if you want to kind of like look to see the information on the ingredients that I found, look below in the description box. I will link you to my blog post where you can find that information. But Australian myrtle extract is something that can reduce sebum production and the removal of dead skin cells. And then we're seeing the Barbados cherry again, which is an antioxidant. And there are a lot of ingredients in here that are known to help exfoliate the skin. And exfoliating the skin is important in every skincare routine because, you know, the skin goes through a natural self-renewal process. Sometimes as we age or during certain times of the year when it's a little colder out, sometimes that process slows down and you might need to give the skin a bit of a kick start when it comes to that. Because what happens is if you have an overaccumulation of dead skin cells on the surface of the skin, all of a sudden, you know, it doesn't look good. Just visually, it doesn't look good. But also, those dead skin cells can make it very difficult for your skincare products to get to where they need to go to work. So exfoliation is super important. I have a video on some chemical exfoliants as well as a blog post on the difference between chemical and physical exfoliation. So make sure you check that out in the description box. I also didn't notice a big difference when using this on my skin. You might not be able to see it, or maybe you might be able to see it. I don't know, but I've got quite a number of pores on my cheek area here that have become a little bit more visible because you know what, sis got up there in age, a little something. And I have a video on pores and the type of treatments that actually help with pores that I did with Dr. Michelle Henry, so make sure you check out that video because not saying that this won't help you, you won't notice a difference in your skin. I think you will, especially with the niacinamide in here. If you've got some hyperpigmentation, this can help aid in, you know, clearing that up. But I also don't want you to get carried away with what you think a product like this can do, so make sure you check out that video on pores. Now, should you try the fat water? Now, I think that out of all of the products here, that most folks may gravitate towards this. And we'll talk about like the marketing and the positioning and things like that of this line a little bit later on. But it looks cool. The name Fat Water is like, oh my God, what is that? It's a really pretty color. You can kind of see through and see like the particles that are in it. And it looks really good. It feels great on the skin. It feels soothing. It feels hydrating. And because of the niacinamide, using this over time will likely show you some improvement in your skin texture and some improvement in your hyperpigmentation. Now, is it going to give you dramatic results? That's going to depend. Now, if you've had your hyperpigmentation, your discoloration for quite some time, a lot of times that sort of hyperpigmentation that has been there for a while is harder to treat with over-the-counter products. So this is not a dig just on this particular product. This is just setting up, you know, realistic expectations when it comes to skin. If you've had particular dark spots for a while, they may not be that superficial, meaning that they're not just on the skin surface, they might have gone deeper. And, you know, there's a certain way that you need to handle that. There's a holistic approach that you need to take when you're treating dark spots. There is no one miracle product. It's like everything working together in tangent. So I just want you to have some realistic expectations when it comes to using a product like that. Some of you are gonna see some amazing results after using this, and some people, you know, like me, will be just like, this did not much for me at all. So it's a toss up here. But if you wanna know more information on getting rid of dark spots, you know, what it takes, if you have some of the more aggressive dark spots or the ones that are a little deeper and harder to get rid of, make sure you check out my videos and blog posts on getting rid of hyperpigmentation. I will link them above and below. There's some really amazing things that you can get done if you know, obviously you have to have the coin when it comes to getting rid of hyperpigmentation with a professional, but I have those resources where you can find out what it takes, how much it costs right here on the channel. Next up, the HYDRA Visor Invisible Moisturizer SPF 30. The packaging on this is amazing. There's a refill in here. I'm conflicted on the pricing. It's $35 when you buy it together, and then the refills are $30. You get 1.7 fluid ounce of product. Let's talk about the positives first. First of all, I am so excited that there's a sunscreen in this line first and foremost, because if you're gonna have a product like Fat Water that's supposed to help with discoloration and hyperpigmentation, like, you gotta have a sunscreen, because why undo all that work you were doing to, you know, get rid of your dark spots just to go out into the sun for you to get more pigmentation on your skin. It's just like, it makes no sense. And I'm so happy that there's a sunscreen in this line. It is a chemical sunscreen. We talk about the difference between mineral and chemical sunscreens a lot on this channel, so please make sure you check out my, you can check out my sunscreens for dark skin playlist, but then I also have a separate playlist on mineral sunscreens for dark skin, because that is an area that, you know, is lacking. And there's a reason why it's lacking, because of the ingredients that are in mineral sunscreens, but you can find out more about that in those videos. Now, this is made without oxybenzone and octinoxate, which are the unsafe ingredients for the coral reefs. There's two sides to that argument. One where it's like there's not enough evidence to substantiate that those ingredients are particularly bad for the coral reefs, and that there's so many other things like climate change and pollution and things like that that factor into the damaging of the coral reefs. And then there's also, you know, some discussion about how that chemical sunscreens are absorbed into the skin. We know that to be certain, but there's still studies being made, and, you know, the FDA wants the sunscreen industry to find out what are the effects of the sunscreen being absorbed into the skin, and what effect that has on, you know, the body and hormones and things of that nature. But my stance, I don't want to, like, you know, steer you in one way or another when it comes to sunscreen. My stance on sunscreen is, you know, I just want you to wear it. You know, what if you wear a chemical or a mineral sunscreen, if you have something with oxybenzone or octinoxate in it, you know, that's between you and your spiritual advisor. Me and my spiritual advisor, we believe that the effects of the sun's damaging rays are not to be played with. But at any rate, this is an invisible sunscreen. It blends into the skin very well, which is typically an issue when it comes to deeper skin tones. There is a lot of fragrance in this. This is probably, this is going to be the product that you will notice the most fragrance on, and especially if you're going to use the fat water and then follow up with this. Well, you'll get the fragrance from the cleanser, but, you know, at least the cleanser's washed off. But, you know, especially when I use all three products together, I kind of find like, wow, this is overwhelming with the fragrance. Although it is a pleasing fragrance, it's still a lot. I did find that it was hydrating, it was nice. I have oily skin. It is summer in New York City. We have had days where it's been over 90 degrees, and I didn't find this to be disruptive with my makeup. I didn't find it making my skin look greasy or oily. It was a very nice sunscreen. The only thing is, would I spend $35 on this sunscreen? I like the packaging. I like the fact that there's a refill. Would I want to spend $30 each time to get a refill for this? No, because, and you can see from my other videos where I've tested sunscreens, lots and lots of sunscreens over the years. This is not the best sunscreen ever that I've tried. It's not going to replace any of the sunscreens that I have in my arsenal. Nor is it anything that is really like standing out as, oh my God, replace everything with this. But having said that, it's still a great sunscreen, so put your sunscreen on. Now, a number of you had asked some questions in my community tab, and my apologies if your question doesn't get answered here, because you might have asked it after I started filming. But two of the biggest questions I saw is it safe for sensitive skin? And what about if you have fungal acne? So when it comes to something being safe for sensitive skin, sometimes, I know sometimes you ask me a question and I answer your question with a question, but sensitive skin is such a catch-all, throw it all in the same bucket term. So it depends on what you're sensitive to, right? There's a lot of fragrance in these products. Well, I can't even substantiate using the word a lot because I don't know what percentage fragrance is in here, but it's very fragrant. I can smell a lot of the fragrance in here. And for some people with sensitive skin, that can be sensitizing, but there are other ingredients in here that other people may be sensitive to. So sensitive skin is such a broad catch-all thing that it's hard to just say, oh yeah, this is safe for sensitive skin, like as a blanket statement. If you find that certain products tend to give you a reaction, whether it's, you know, it makes you itchy or you're seeing some redness, kind of look on the back and see if there are any ingredients in common, and that's a way to kind of figure out if you know, if there's certain ingredients that you should stay away from. Another way is to, you know, kind of do like an allergy test with a doctor. That's another route to kind of pinpoint, you know, what ingredients you need to stay away from. Now, the question when it came to fungal acne, which fungal acne is called fungal acne, but it's not actually acne. One of the best treatments for fungal acne is actually one of the active ingredients in dandruff shampoos. And while I don't see anything in here that can be harmful, like there's usually certain like fatty oils that can irritate fungal acne, I didn't really see that in this line, but I also wouldn't be like, here, this is great for fungal acne. Hopefully that made sense. When you have fungal acne though, I think you need to keep everything as simple as possible in your routine. You definitely want to, you know, have a chat and a consultation with a dermatologist to see what, you know, your course of action is when it comes to something like that. Ignore the lighting changes, I can't control the clouds. Overall, I would have to say, if you're someone who's a skincare aficionado, this is not a line that is going to make you feel like, oh my God, let me abandon all my other products and only use Fenty Skin. I think Fenty Skin is good for who it's good for. Now, I know that was saying something without saying anything, but hear me out. So when Fenty Beauty came out, I feel that Fenty Beauty, because remember the huge cultural impact that this brand had on the beauty industry, meanwhile, they weren't even the first ones to come out with an inclusive foundation range. So I feel that Fenty Beauty speaks to a certain consumer that most beauty brands are not speaking to, right? And these might be people who, you know, they're into their contouring and they're highlighting to the gods, but maybe perhaps they don't understand the basics of a skincare routine, or they're not really, maybe they're just using water to wash their face, maybe they're going to sleep with their makeup on. You know, I do think that this is a decent line for that particular segment of the population. Although it's not for me, it's going to be for someone. And if you think you are that someone, let me know in the comments below. Or if you think like this is something that you're not spending your coins on, let's talk about it in the comments. Follow me on social, the links will be in the description box. Also links to, again, you know, some of the ingredients that I was telling you about that I found that were in the products. I will have that in a blog post, so make sure you check that out in the description box as well. As well as some other videos on hyperpigmentation and sunscreens for dark skin and all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.